was 2011 and digital transformation was starting to transform business. In our class of the Global Executive MBA, we were discussing how digital transformation could have impacted the business. And it was in that period that Daniele and Nicolas started to think about how digital payments and digital documentations could have been improved and could have been included in this path of digital transformation. Then it came the module of our Global Executive MBA in Los Angeles, Anderson School of Management. And during that module, we focused our attention on startups, how to set a value proposition, how to prepare a business plan, how to get money. And Daniele and Nicolas had the idea of GetYourBill.
I met Daniele during my GEMBA classes more than 10 years ago, and he had a friend of his who was a freelancer, and when he was going for lunch to the restaurant, he needed to get the invoice. And he had an Arabic surname, he had a very long address, and he had to give all these details each time at the restaurant in order to obtain the invoice, and it was an everlasting process. And so we decided together with him to find a way to digitalize this process and make it much faster, much smoother, much more user-friendly, both for the merchant, for the restaurant owner, and for the client who needed the invoice. So that's where the idea was born. And quite quickly, actually, we raised sufficient money. We raised about 700,000 euros based purely on a proof of concept and the business plan we developed. So we have developed a platform for electronic invoicing. Electronic invoicing is typically something that is done between large companies through the ERP system, and it's done through the back office. We wanted to bring the electronic invoicing to the front office, specifically for the retail industry, for shops, restaurants, etc., where people prefer to receive the invoice directly. So for this, we developed a platform, and the platform plugs into a series of devices that exist in the retail environment. It could be the cash register system, it could be the point of sale payment terminal, it could be the self-service columns at a petrol station. And for this, we have developed a number of partnerships. We have partnered with very small local companies in Italy, and we have also partnerships with very big international companies. We are the partner of Oracle, for example, for the food and beverage industry. We are the partner of Tokheim for the self-service petrol columns. And we are the partner of RCH, which is the largest cash register system in Italy. Our customer base reaches out from very small, from the pizzeria at the corner, all the way to large companies, Prada, Armani, CGR Group, which is a food and beverage group in Italy, which includes brands like Old Wild West, for example. We treat now about 6 million invoices each year, and our business model is based on recurrent packages. For example, a customer of us buys a package of 100 invoices or 1,000 invoices. They use them, and then once the package is empty, they buy a new package from us. Electronic invoicing became an obligation by law in Italy in 2019, and that generated two types of competitors for us. So the first group, cash register systems, they developed their solutions just to abide by the law, but they didn't really have in mind the process. They didn't have in mind the user experience, and so they are starting to come to us to ditch their own solution and to partner with us today. The second group are entrepreneurs who developed their apps for electronic invoicing, where the problem is that the user has to pre-register and put all his details, and every time his details change, he has to change them. And he has to have a series of apps because one petrol station uses one app, another shop uses a different app, and so that's not customer friendly either. In our solution, there is no need to pre-register, and that is again putting the customer at the center of the solution and make it very easy to use for them. Today we have about 10 to 12 employees. We have a turnover which is just below 2 million euro. It has not been easy to get to this. Until 2018, the business didn't really take off. So we were burning cash, having a lot of partnerships, but the partnerships were not materializing into business. By end of October 2015, we had less than 500 customers. By the end of 2019, we had 10,000 customers. So we had a huge growth end of 2018 and beginning of 2019, with its own challenges. But let's say before that, we were really close to bankruptcy a couple of times. One of our investors said, this company is like a mozzarella we left in the sun. So it's gone, it's dead, yeah? When we had the rocket taking off, that had its own challenges because our internal processes were not digitalized. When we were suddenly moving from one contract every 3 days to 10 contracts, 20 contracts every day, it was impossible to manage. So we gave the priority to activating the merchants. Then came the COVID. More than 95% of our customers are restaurants. And we feared that this could really kill our business. But on the contrary, our business maintained, so we demonstrated how resilient the business model was. Restaurants closed down, they issued less invoices, but then they reopened, and they reopened partly, etc. But they needed anyway the electronic invoicing, so they continued to buy the packages and they continued to pay us. So we continued to grow, and now it's taking off again, it's accelerating again. We're actually in the middle of our future plans at the moment. We initiated a round A financing, which is ongoing. So we're looking for investors for the moment. So we developed a new business plan last year with a horizon up to 2026, with a vision of bringing the checkout to a single transaction. Today, the checkout in a shop, in a restaurant, are two transactions. There's a fiscal part, and then there's the payment part. The experience of the GEMBA, first of all, has given us the confidence to start this adventure. Very quickly, the practical aspects also were very useful. So we had to build a business plan to get on board the first investors. Having in the team 2 people who did the GEMBA at Bocconi was definitely a plus. Also having a business plan that was well structured, that was logic. None of us had any experience as a CFO. The courses we had in Bocconi in terms of financial management were also very useful for us in the beginning. What we have developed in terms of skills during the GEMBA has also helped us to avoid getting into panic, to analyze the situation in a very cold way, understand which are our strengths, which are our weaknesses, what we needed to change. Back in 2017, for example, we had a major change in our strategy. Initially, we were focusing on financial institutions, on banks. That was failing because the banking environment was very unstable, and we changed our focus onto the cash register producers. That has been critical for our success, and I think if we hadn't had the kind of training we've received at the GEMBA to analyze the facts and make decisions based on a good analysis, maybe we wouldn't have made that decision at the time.
What a Global Executive MBA can give to an idea like this, it's basically supporting the 2 main parts of a successful startup: idea and execution. Of course, the idea finds a proper environment in a class made of different classmates coming from different industry with completely different background. On the other side, execution. In an MBA class, you have all the possibility to develop the soft skills, the hard skills, the network that it's useful, and it's the real key successful factor of a startup like this. Then, of course, we should not forget luck. But as the philosopher Seneca used to say, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. In Global Executive MBA, we give you the preparation. We try to show you the opportunities. Then luck will come.